Hi guys, Martin here, coming to you with my full build and final reveal video for the Matchbox 1/72 A-4M Skyhawk. As you know, if you're following my channel, I don't have my man cave and airbrushing station set up yet, so I'm brush painting a few small models. So I'm doing set 1/72 instead of 1/32 scale. So the Matchbox A-4M, there's the box. This is a tool from 1976, so it's 40 years old this year. They haven't updated the tool in any way since it was constructed. No modifications, no extra parts added. All they did was release 3 new box arts. One in 79, one in 80, and one in 1982. This is the 1982, the final of those 3 extra box arts. Now, it's a very basic kit, as you'd imagine, 40 years old, and so it was a fun exercise to try and do something with it, and it's also an exercise for me with brush painting to see what I can create. I don't think I did a bad job, although because it's such a basic kit, that takes away from some of that further realism that you can achieve with the bigger, more detailed kits. Also on the painting instructions and on the box art, it doesn't show a anti-glare panel on the front, black, and it doesn't indicate anti-slip panels on the upper wings for walking on. So I painted them on. The missiles are also, these bullpup missiles are also just plain white and they look boring, so I put some stripes on and some numbers, give them some detail, make them look a bit more interesting. The cockpit, very basic, all it is a pilot and a seat and that's it. But because it's such a dark cockpit, it's black and dark grey, and then the canopy, the clear plastic, is very thick, and so you don't see anything inside there. You just see the pilot's upper shoulders and head. So I didn't bother doing anything, trying to scratch build anything, it wasn't worth it. But other than that, it was a fun little kit. I had fun, and I hope you guys enjoy what is about to follow. So on to the build, followed by the final reveal. Thanks for watching guys, thanks for supporting my channel, and I'll see you again soon. Tally-ho, chocks away. So let's take a look at the box art, see what's inside the box. That's the front of the box. That's the rear of the box, showing 2 different decal markings. I did the version at the top. And what's inside the box. First we have a large grey sprue with a fuselage halves there, air intakes and some pylons and peripheral parts. And then we have a large white sprue with the wings and horizontal stabilizers and undercarriage doors. We have 1 sheet of decals, 40-year-old decals. A little concerned that they were going to work, but they did, so I was pleasantly surprised. This is the black and white instruction booklet. That's the front page. And if we turn that over, on the inside pages we have the assembly instructions. That's stages 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that's stages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. There's only 10 stages to the assembly, and pretty simple, it's easy stuff. On the back page we have the colour callouts, and then we have 1 small piece of clear sprue which isn't that clear. It's a little cloudy and thick and not very pleasant. So then after inspecting those parts, it was on to cleaning them, making them ready for assembly and painting. So I laid out parts for sub-assemblies, the fuselage halves, wings and pilot, seat and missiles. Assembled those up, then I painted the cockpit interior, the pilot, the seat and the exhaust areas. Assembled the pilot to his seat, and then moved on to assembling the wing halves together and laid those out. I assembled the pilot into the fuselage halves, glued those together, taped it, clamped it, let that set. Once it's set, I put the nose on, the wings and the horizontal stabilizers, and then I turned her over and I put in the undercarriage doors temporarily to act as masks prior to painting, and then I assembled the pylons, the arrestor hook, and a couple of little pieces that go at the front. And there they are, all the parts assembled now. The only thing left to do is the canister. So I masked that with some Tamiya tape, carefully masked it, and stuck that onto the fuselage halves, and then got everything together ready for a clean down with some 91% isopropyl alcohol. And after doing that, I bunged up the exhaust with some damp tissue and tape and masked the air intakes, and then I applied a primer, a Steinel Res grey primer to everything. That's the top side, that's the underside. So now she was ready for pre-shading when that was dry. So I mixed some flat black with dark earth, as you can see there, made a dark brown colour and painted that on. That's the upper side, and the missiles painted, and that's the underside. So after doing that, it was on to painting the underside with some flat white, and there you can see the underside's painted along with the bullpup missiles. And then I turned her over and I painted the flaps, ailerons, rudder and elevators white. And then it was on to giving that all a clear coat to seal it in and allowing that to dry before I masked all that, ready to paint the top side. And there you can see it's all masked, including the elevators, ailerons and rudder, because they're remaining white. And that's all the underside edges masked. So after doing the masking, I got my paint, mixed 3 colours to make a greyish tone that I liked, painted that on, then mixed more white to tone it down and put highlights on. The 3 colours I mixed was XF55 Deck Tan, XF66 Light Grey and XF2 White to get that colour of light. And that's with all the masking removed. So you can see how the white contrasts with the grey. I then taped in preparation to do an anti-glare panel, and then the anti-slip panels on the wings. I painted that black. I toned the black down, and then I painted the wingtip lights, the aerial on the top of the fuselage, and that fuselage red light as well. And then I sealed that all in with a clear coat, gloss clear coat, allowed it to dry, and then it was on with the decals. And as you can see there, the decals have been applied, and that's a view on the port side. All decals in place. Oh, and I painted some stripes on the missiles to make them look a little bit more exciting. A red, a yellow and a black stripe, and added some numbers. And the only decal on the underside is the star and bars on the starboard side wing. So that's it, all the decals done. So they were sealed in with a clear coat, then it was on to weathering. I mixed the black and white oil paint with some odourless mineral spirits to make a brownish grey wash, and then applied that to the model and the 2 bullpup missiles. Allowed it to dry for half an hour and then rubbed off the excess, leaving on an amount that I like the look of. And then I highlighted all the panel lines, the raised and the few recessed ones, with a dark brown crayon. And then it was on to putting some dirty streaks on, so I mixed a black brown acrylic wash and put in a drop of rust paint, acrylic paint, and really thinned it down with water and applied lots of streaks and dirt stains. And then it was on to sealing everything in with the final flat clear coat. So I brush painted that on, and then she was ready for assembly. So I removed the undercarriage doors, got everything together, and then I detailed those parts, give them some colour, as you can see there, and then gave that all a gloss clear coat, allowed that to dry, and then we could give it a wash. And there it is, the wash has been applied. We allow the wash to dry for 30 minutes, then rub off the excess and start assembly. There's the undercarriage assembled, the nose wheel and the 2 main wheels. And after they set, I put in the undercarriage bay doors in. There are all the doors in place, and then it was on to assembling those 2 bullpup missiles and 2 little machine guns that go either side of the fuselage in front of the wings. So that was it, all finally assembled. I put her on her feet and it became apparent she's a tail sitter. There were no clear instructions in the assembly instructions saying that you have to put nose weight in. So that's it. Without further ado, let's move on to the final assembler. Hope you enjoy. Tally-ho, chocks away.